Before I can kick this off, I need to give you the backstory. This isn't my first Hardcore Ironman. I mean, technically it is, but it isn't. Let me explain. A little over 2 years ago, I left RS3 to come to Old School Runescape to be one of 5 in a group Hardcore Ironman. Our adventure has been great, and it isn't finished yet, but we are no longer hardcores thanks to a few mishaps. I wish I could say that I wasn't a part of those mishaps, but I may have had one of the worst deaths on the team. So here's what happened. Now it's Jover out here.
Dying on my Hardcore Ironman. Completed.
The goggles! I took the goggles off! No! Oh no, dude! Oh no, bro. I forgot about the goggles, bro. No way. No way, dude. Oh, bro. It is as bad as it looks, but that's why we're back for redemption. Since then, our HCIM team has conquered a lot of content, and we've learned a lot about Old School Runescape in the process. Now, I'm ready to run it back, but this time as a solo Hardcore Ironman. Throughout this series, you're going to notice this little guy right here in the corner that's going to be accompanying us on our journey as a reminder of how we lost our Hardcore Ironman. If that wasn't enough, just look at the name. Meet Died to Sour Hog, my new Hardcore Ironman. So this is where our story begins. Since I started 2 years ago, there have been a ton of updates to Old School RuneScape, but one of the biggest updates was the new area expansion of Varlamore. With Varlamore came a whole host of content, such as Hunter Rumors, Moons of Peril, Veil Totems, Mastery Mixology, and even Old School RuneScape's first enraged boss known as Doom. With all the new updates, it makes figuring out how I want to start this hardcore off a little tricky. I think the traditional way of winter tot to 99 is outdated, and to be honest, I started the group Ironman that way. I don't really want to do it again, so we're going to do it differently this time around. We could jump straight into the Hunter Rumors, and it would set us up nicely with early game food, access to Moonlight Moths for early game prayer, GP, and even a ton of bone shards to jumpstart our prayer as well. Or we could go into a woodcutting grind, jump into some Veil Totems. Veil Totems are great fletching XP, arrowheads, tons of flax that can be spun into bowstrings for crafting XP, bird's nests containing rings and tree seeds for early game farming, and even bone shards for prayer XP as well. Plus, we can't forget the new fletching knife. It speeds up fletching, and they also have the bowstring spool that can hold up to 100k bowstrings when maxed out. Even with both of those options being great options, I think the best way to start any account is still the tried and true method of questing. While I still need to make a decision on what I would like to prioritize first between Hunter Rumors and Veil Totems, questing is the best way to earn a lot of XP and fast in a bunch of different skills. I have a list of quests in mind that I would like to get done, but we have to be careful with some of them, or we could be risking an early death, and I can't die before we at least make it back to Sour Hogs. So anyways, I got this bond to start this off from a guy that wasn't me. I mean, he has the same name as me, but I swear it wasn't me. Also, just to let you guys know, I do stream all of this progress over on Twitch and Kick, as well as occasionally on YouTube too. So all of my progress is done live. But yeah, so basically we are going to redeem this bond and we're going to hop into a members world, and good God, that took forever to redeem. So now that we have membership though, let's log into our home world, world 346, and let's get this thing going. All right, we are finally in world 346. We're in a members world with our new membership, and the first things first, we got to join the clan chat. If you guys are looking for a clan, we are always recruiting. Everyone is welcome to come and join. We're an awesome community, active community, and we also host weekly competitions on Wise Old Man where you have an opportunity to win bonds occasionally. So come and check us out if you'd like to join a community. So the first thing I typically like to do is try to figure out like if I'm gonna have a route or like a direction that I'm gonna go, and I usually like to use this tracker to set goals. So we're gonna set a goal for 46 Hunter just so I can get ready to see how much XP it's gonna be for me to get to Hunter Rumors. Now, I think I got a little lucky here because technically I created my account a really long time ago, but while we were just kind of getting set up, we ended up getting really lucky and getting a random event right off the rip. It happened to be the Beekeeper, which is really good because that's, I mean, you could get really early XP lamps as well as flax. And I mean, right off the rip, we're getting an XP lamp to start our account out. Now, I didn't use it right away, but I mean, that's still pretty good. Not bad. We started out with a piece of the Beekeeper's outfit, and then, like I said, the XP lamp. And I mean, the main reason why I'm not going to use it right away is because you guys know XP lamps scale based off of the level of your skill. But I did want to kind of take a look and see what would I potentially use it in. And I think the most likely thing to use it in this early is going to be agility. And so we're kind of just holding on to it for now until I decide to go train my agility up a little bit. Since we're starting out with quests, the most obvious quest to start with is Cook's Assistant. I mean, it's a small amount of XP, but it is the first quest of the game. I feel like you have to start every single account this way. So we're heading on over. We're going to grab our egg really quick for Cook's Assistant, and then we're going to make our way over to get the wheat as well. One thing I've noticed is that even with the run energy changes, it's still really slow to refill your run energy. So I do think that we're going to end up doing a lot of agility early on just to kind of help out with that. We're going to quickly make our bucket of flour, and then the last thing we need to do is get the milk, and then we go back to Lumbridge Castle and complete Cook's Assistant, the first quest of many on the new hardcore. Not bad, 400 XP in cooking. Now that Cook's Assistant is over, we're gonna, I mean, we're already down here, so we might as well just go do Sheep Shearer next. Now, there's not really any real reason to do Sheep Shearer other than the inevitable quest cape grind, but at the same time, you get a little bit of XP, you get a quest point here or there, so that'll be what we hit next. We're gonna stop at the general store, grab the shears that we need, and then we'll start shearing sheep. Not that I was in any real danger doing this quest, but I won't lie, there was a couple of times in which I accidentally clicked on a ram and not the sheep, and then I started fighting it, and I was a little worried that the ram might actually kind of kick my ass a little bit, but no, other than that, we were pretty good. We got all 20 balls of wool. It took a little bit to spin all 20 into the wool, but once it was spun, we went and turned the quest in, and on to the next quest. After Sheep Shearer, I decided to kind of head up towards Drainer and see if I could buy a Chronicle, but I realized I didn't have any GP, and Chronicles are expensive, and not only are they expensive, but the charges for them are also expensive. So I figured it was a good opportunity to start leveling up my agility level. Since we're right here, it's a low-level agility course. Now, usually you could either do Drainer or you could do Gnome, but I decided to do Drainer since we were here, and I decided to commit to getting level 20 agility while we were here. And not only that, but then it would also allow us to get rid of this XP lamp that's in our inventory. Since you can't bank the XP lamps, I didn't want to keep it in my inventory forever, and while I'm not hurting on inventory space, later on I might be. After a couple laps, we got our first mark of Grace, so I guess we're already on our way to Graceful. I mean, I know that grind doesn't really start until you hit 40 and do the Canifis course, and I know there's a lot of different ways to do Graceful now, but I think I'm still going to do the Canifis route at 40. Now, I might decide to do something different when we get to that point, but hey, look, we got our first mark of Grace. That's one down. Not gonna lie, this took a lot longer than I thought it would to get to 20, but we're almost there, and then we can get on to the next grind and get back to the next set of quests, so. This is the final lap to hit 20. We're almost finished, and then we're definitely going to get back to the beginner quest. We're looking at potentially doing Witch's Potion and the Restless Ghost. Some of the other quests that I want to get done early would be like Rune Mysteries. While we are hardcores, I would like to do the Enter the Abyss quest because I don't really want to go in the wilderness that much. If I can avoid it, I kind of want to, especially since I stream a lot of my progress live. I'm worried about going to the wilderness. We do get stream snipers from time to time, and I definitely don't want to die because somebody decided to grief me when I step out into the wilderness for the first time. All right, not bad. We finished up our 20 agility, and we used our XP lamp and got an extra 200 agility XP, so it's kind of decent. Decided to stop and drain it really quick so we could bank the Mark of Grace and pick up a couple of wine, just so we have a little bit of food available to us. Back down in Lumbridge to start the Witch's Potion. I know that I'm going to need the burnt meat, so I quickly decided to head on over to the cow pen, kill a cow, grab the meat, and cook it, so that way we could just very quickly burn it and then head on over towards Remington, where we're going to get the other ingredients in Port Sarim on the way. Okay, we're here. We can grab our Eye of Newt really fast, and then from here we just have to run over to Remington to get the rat tail and finish the quest. I actually forgot that I needed an onion, but good thing there's a onion patch over here, so we could just quickly grab one. So we did that, and then now we can go and finish the quest. Okay, we got to speak to Hetty and then ask for the quest. Once we have the quest started, I believe that's when we get the rat's tail. Let's see. Yep, okay, good. I do remember how to do this quest. It's been a while, but I do remember. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and get our rat's tail. There's the rat's tail. Now we can go and actually talk to her and drink from the cauldron. I think this quest gives a little bit of magic XP, and then I think it's just one quest point as well. All right, we'll drink from the cauldron. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that. We got Witch's Potion done and 4 magic, and we're just gonna keep this thing rolling. Let's get on to the next quest. The Restless Ghost, man, a classic quest. I remember doing this quest as a free-to-play back in the day when I was just a youngin' and couldn't afford any type of membership, and my mom wouldn't buy me any type of membership either. So we were just free-to-play gamers. I remember doing Restless Ghost. It's one of the most iconic quests, I think, as a free-to-play, other than the obvious Dragon Slayer, you know? I actually almost forgot about this. If you guys didn't know, if you have a Jagex account and a bank pin on your character, you can actually talk to Count Check in the Lumbridge graveyard, and he'll give you a free XP lamp on any new account. After a short walk, but a long walk at the same time, we finally made it to Father Ernie's house so we could start the Restless Ghost. And then from here, I mean, it's smooth sailing. I can tell you right now, I mean, after playing on a GIM for a while and not having to really worry about run energy because of things like stamina potions and graceful, I'm going to want graceful really, really early on this account. It has been a while, and I am not used to all of this walking around. We just have to grab this skull here. Now, I could fight this skeleton, but I'm actually not going to. I'm just going to boot, scoot, and boogie on back to complete the quest as quickly as possible. See you later, skeleton. Finally made it back to the Lumbridge graveyard so we can complete the quest, and I'm not gonna lie, young me did not remember that this quest had a cutscene, so now we're just gonna have to watch this and enjoy it together. RuneScape was so ahead of its time. I mean, look at this cutscene. This is AAA game studio type of cutscene for the age of this quest. Restless Ghost is probably one of the better quests that you can complete, considering it gives you 1100 prayer XP, which is really, really good prayer XP for very little effort. So I want to be able to complete the Enter the Abyss mini quest because, like I was saying earlier, I would like to get that done as soon as possible so I don't have to worry about going into the wilderness when being too high of a combat level. So in order to do that, we have to do Rune Mysteries first. So we're quickly grabbing Rune Mysteries, getting it out of the way, and then we're going to go do Enter the Abyss. This quest is actually a really fast quest, but it requires us to walk back and forth between Lumbridge and the Wizard's Tower, as well as all the way to Varrock. So unfortunately, because of all the walking we have to do, it kind of slows this quest down and makes it not so much of a quick quest. After a little bit of yap from the wizard there, we were finally able to get our package to go give to Aubrey so we can keep moving. Right as we were leaving the Wizard's Tower, I had to go AFK for a quick second, and when I got back, we actually got really lucky, and we got a random event. We got the Rick Turpentine random event. Now, this isn't one of my favorite random events, and I typically would ignore this one, but this actually was really, really helpful because it gave me 640 GP, which is perfect because now I can run over to Draenor, and I can actually buy a Chronicle and a Chronicle TP, which actually makes getting to Varrock a lot quicker. It was kind of a blessing in disguise. Let's buy our Chronicle and our Chronicle TP. We actually only have enough GP to get one TP, considering how expensive they are. I didn't want to go totally broke. I could have bought 2, but I wanted a little bit of GP left. You never know what you're going to need it for, especially this early in the game. Being able to teleport to Varrock kind of sped things up a little bit for us, so now all we have to do is just run over to Aubrey and continue the quest. And back to the Wizard's Tower we go. Okay, now that Rune Mysteries is completed, we can continue with Enter the Abyss. Now, I do have an account that I could use to scout out wilderness to make sure that I'm safe when I'm going on my hardcore, but I don't know, that kind of takes away from the fun for me, so I'm not really going to scout anytime I go into the wilderness. Maybe certain things that I know are heavily camped, but for the most part, hey, YOLO. Now, this quest is basically Rune Mysteries 2, where I kind of have to go all over the game and use the different mages to teleport me to the Rune Mine or the Rune Essence Mine. So this is going to be even longer than the last one, and honestly, it's a mini quest, but it really just comes down to walking everywhere. Yeah, we really need that graceful set. When we started the quest, we already used Aubrey to teleport to the Rune Essence Mine, so we're back at Drainer Wizard's Tower to use Archmage again, back at this tower to teleport, and then now that we've done that, we can go over to, I think we have to do Artie and Yanili, however you say it. Yeah, it turns out I was remembering it wrong. Didn't have to go to Yano at all. But since I'm in Artie, I decided I was going to go quickly grab Boots of Lightness. I figured Boots of Lightness would be kind of nice to get early. It's relatively safe to get, and all you have to do is just go down there, slash a web, grab the boots, and then it'll just help us out, I think, with our weight, and through lower weight should be longer run energy, I hope. So it's not going to make much of a difference, but it'll be nice for now. I won't lie, I got a little sidetracked on the way back to Varrock, and I decided to start killing a bunch of these goblins in Lumbridge. The main reason why I'm killing the goblins is simply just because I know that I'm going to need a chef's hat, but in the same time, the goblins have some okay-ish drops to kind of help us out. You can get Bronze Spear, they have some beginner clues, you can get a little bit of money, a little bit of rune, so nothing too crazy, but just some helpful stuff. So we got a little distracted, and now we're going to head on up to Varrock and finish out that quest. So now we can complete this mini quest. I keep calling it a quest, but it really is just a mini quest. I mean, it feels like a quest because of all the walking around. But the nice thing about this quest is that it's going to give us 9 rune crafting, which basically almost puts us at the level requirement to do the Temple of the Eye quest, which is the quest that unlocks Guardians of the Rift. I was about to say Guardians of the Wift. But yeah, so now we got 9 rune crafting, which is really, really good. Now that we're back in Varrock, we're going to go ahead and get ready to start the Children of the Sun quest, but I wanted to kind of do the steps of this beginner clue along the way. But the main reason why we're going to go do Children of the Sun, and for those of you that don't know, Children of the Sun is actually one of the newer quests, which is the quest that unlocks access to Varlamore, and Varlamore is going to be really, really, really big for us in the early game, as that's going to give us major access to a money source, which typically in the past, money early on a hardcore on an Ironman was, I don't really want to say it was a drag, but the main way that you would do it would be through blackjacking and getting your thieving up. Now we have what are called Eclipse red wines that we can sell, and you can make about 20k GP per inventory. So that's a main reason why we're going to hit this Children of the Sun quest. While it is going to be really good for us later on, and that's why we're doing it right now. Since it is an introductory quest, it is a really simple quest, but we basically have to stalk this guy without him seeing us. Good news is we have Quest Helper, and Quest Helper honestly makes things really easy. It tells you exactly where you need to go, where you need to stand. I mean, who doesn't love the Quest Helper? Still following this guy around. The good news is that we're basically almost done, and once you're done with this step of the quest, you basically go talk to some dudes, and that's it. Boom, quest complete, and you have access to Varlamore. Now, I don't really have like some grand strategy to the early starting quest right now. We're just basically laying the groundwork. This is the foundation to the account. There will become more of a plan as we start to develop things, but right now it's kind of like throwing darts, right? We're just kind of throwing and seeing where things stick. So we're just slamming out quests and laying the groundwork, laying the foundation for the account. We completed Children of the Sun. Before I get started on the next quest, I do know that eventually we're going to want to do Dork's quest, and it just so happens to be that my clue that I was working on earlier actually needs me to bring Charlie an iron ore, and I haven't done any mining yet. So I'm going to sit here and kind of hit these 10 rocks. Let's crack out 15 iron, and then while we're at it, we might as well grab what we need for Dork's quest later on down the line, which I believe is a little bit of clay and some iron as well. Boom, we got our 15 mining. All we got to do now is gather what we need. We have all the clay already. Let's grab a couple of iron ore. I believe we need an iron ore for Charlie, and then I need 2 iron ore for Doric's quest. And then I think the only other thing we need is a little bit of coal. All right, we got all the iron that we need now. We have 2 for our Doric's quest, and then we also have the one that Charlie wants to continue this clue. Hopefully we can get a casket here. That would be pretty great. I want those mole slippies. No luck on the casket. We got another clue step, and would you look at that? There goes the chef's hat that we need. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to find time when we're gonna actually be able to grind that out. Hopefully we can get that later so we can finish this casket. Now, it's not the biggest rush. I do know that you actually can't earn any uniques from beginner caskets until after 10 hours playtime on the account. So even if we do finish the quest, we're gonna have to sit on the casket for a while. I just wanted to run over to the other side of the mine now, over here on the other side of Varrock. I did take the long way because I'm terrified of those dark wizards, especially that level 20 dark wizard that they put over there. Yeah, I don't want to die to that, so we're running the long way around. The only thing, I said we needed coal earlier today. We actually need copper ore, so we're going to quickly grab, I think it's 4 copper that we need, and then we have everything for Doric's quest, so the next time that we find ourselves in the Falador area, we can very easily complete Doric's quest since we'll already have everything for it. We got all the copper we need, but before we go, the red berry bush is right here. It's very convenient. I know I'm going to need red berry pies for multiple quests later on, especially when we decide to do the Knight's Sword. So I'm going to just grab some red berries before we make our way to the next quest. I figured before we go and start the next quest, it might be good if we actually did have a little bit of GP. So I'm on my way to the Hunter Guild in Varlamore now, which is where we can actually pick up the Eclipse red wine so that we can make a little bit of GP. I think I'm only going to do 1 or 2 full inventories. It's quite a few world hops because it's only 1 wine per world, but it'll be worth it. It shouldn't take us too long, and it'll be some really, really nice GP to have. All right, before I knew it, we had a full inventory of wine, and it was time to go back to the home world and travel to go and sell them. Now, we also sell these wines in another area of Varlamore. The good news is very close to where the Hunter Guild is actually a boat that you can take that will take you directly to the next area, which is in Alderan, to go to the winery to be able to sell these. These are going to sell for about 700 GP a wine, and the best thing about this shop is that the price never goes down no matter how many wines that you sell. I will say with a GP source like this, it is kind of tempting to just sit here all day and want to sell these wines and just make a boatload of money, but at the same time there's plenty of stuff to do. You don't need a crazy amount of GP at the start, but it does help. But I also, because I do stream all of my progress, I don't want to sit there and hop worlds for 2 hours on stream either. So for the sake of content and for everybody's pleasure viewing experience, we decided to just do 1 inventory for now, get a quick 20k and use that to our advantage later on. Another thing that I should mention about these wines is that you can actually bank them at the Hunter Guild. Now, if you don't have the level to talk to the Hunter Guild person for the bank, there's a bank chest right next to her that you can actually use without having the Hunter Guild level requirement. So there is a workaround to be able to bank them, so you can actually stack a lot of these wines pretty easily. And another thing that I didn't know when I was doing this is that you can actually note the wine and sell the noted wine to the winery. So it actually is kind of worth stacking a lot of these wines because you can get rid of them really quickly. All right, we're back in Lumbridge for another quest. This time it is a new quest, so unfortunately we don't have Quest Helper to help us out, but we do have the Wiki Quick Guide, which is always a classic, especially as an RS3 player. While I prefer to have Quest Helper, you know, it doesn't hurt every now and then to have to use the Wiki Quick Guides. So this is Ides of Milk. This is the new quest that unlocks the early game cow boss. Now technically it is a bull, but I mean, isn't a bull just a male cow anyways? I will say this quest is a little bit sus. You'll see what I mean. This is that part that I was talking about. You see this? Look at this. Cassius, this guy Cassius here. He's gonna have us have a milk sample and he wants us to drink it. Only that can't really be milk now, can it? Because it's from a male cow, or at least a bull, and bulls don't have milk. So what are we drinking anyways then? Yeah, but anyways, we gotta do what we gotta do to be able to finish the quest. So I drank whatever the substance is that is called the milk sample within the quest, so we can continue on and eventually be able to take down the new cow boss. This might sound a little sus, especially after that last part, but basically this is a beefy ass bull. This is a beefy boy, no pun intended, but yeah. It's actually kind of cringe, dude. I mean, it is beef, but like he's also buff, so like that's what I mean when I say beefy. I'm sure you guys figured that out, but also it kind of sounds like one of those dad jokes, a beefy bull. You know, because he's a... Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous throughout this fight, and while I did actually kill this boss on my main before, not because I wanted to kill it because I was worried about killing it on the hardcore, but because I actually farmed the pet on my GIM, I was still nervous because the special attacks here can actually do quite a bit of damage. I think they can hit up to a max of 19, so I think it was actually capable of one-shotting me. I think the odds of it hitting that max hit would be very low, but I was still a little nervous, more than I needed to be, but I just wanted to make sure that I could kill it and not die in the process. Yeah, that was a very slow kill too. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to kill it a little bit quicker. I mean, this is what happened. I mean, it's an early game boss, but I got no stats, right? It's a very slow kill. I think it was a 10-minute kill. And the worst part is you don't even get loot from the first kill when you're completing the quest. So we actually have to come back here and do it again once we complete the quest. Hell yeah, quest completed. Now we can actually go and take on the boss, but we're gonna have to get more food first because it took almost my entire inventory of food. I was able to train up my stats a little bit, and I got another inventory of food, and we went back into the boss to get another kill, this time hoping that we get some loot from our very first kill. Now this boss does have a couple of things that you can get that are going to help you out in the early game. One of them being the Muleta, which is the equivalent of a steel defender. So we actually have access to essentially a steel defender really early on. I also lied earlier. Definitely wasn't a 10-minute kill. We just did a 4-minute kill there. So it definitely, yeah, I definitely didn't spend 10 minutes killing it in the quest. Maybe 5, maybe 6, but it was not 10. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything on that first kill. Eventually, I will farm this boss. It's really good combat XP, so it'll be a great way to get my stats up to 40. Not only that, but I would like to get the Muleta. Like I said, it's the equivalent of a steel defender. Not only the Muleta, but you can also get the unlimited milk bucket, which is, you know, you guys know there's the compost bucket. Now we have the unlimited milk bucket. That might come in handy later on. I'm not really too sure what I would use it for. And then the best drop that this boss has is the cow slippers, and the cow slippers are A1 customization. You gotta flex on everybody walking around in those on an early game account. Why not? Yeah, getting a little brave, got some courage in me now after fighting Brutus, so I decided it's time to do the Stronghold of Security and get an extra 10k GP. But I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. I hope I have enough food to make it through this. I usually do this right off the rip, you know, on a level 3 for early game money, but on a hardcore, I'm doing it a little bit on the safer side. So floor 1 completed. Obviously floor 1's not a problem, but this is where it gets real. It's floor 2 and beyond where things get a little dicey, so hopefully this goes pretty smoothly here. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but did you know you could just spam click the doors and completely ignore the questions? I don't know how long that's been a thing for, but somebody in chat told me, and not gonna lie, I always answered the questions. Now I'm sitting here like, what the hell? I could have just been spam clicking the door and getting through a hell of a lot quicker. Things were feeling relatively safe right up until the point where I got hit for a 4, which honestly felt like all of my HP. We made it through no problem though, so we're on to floor 3. There's only a couple more floors left. This floor is probably, I think this floor is probably more dangerous than the last floor. The last floor, you really don't encounter anything up until the very last, like, run through to the end. This floor on the other hand though, you kind of run into a few different things, and some scary things at that. Yeah, I thought I made it through the first room pretty okay, right up until the point where I go inside the door and boom, I get hit for almost all of my HP. What the hell, man? Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm getting a little nervous about my food here. I keep taking damage from everything possible. In every room I run through, I'm taking damage right now. What the hell is going on? We did successfully make it through floor 3. So now that's all that's left. I mean, we have all the GP. All that's left now is just to go get our rainbow boots, which typically I would probably rock the rainbow boots, but now I really don't even care about them that much. It's not that I don't like them. It's that the cow slippers are just that much cooler, man. Yeah, the entire bottom floor is literally free. You don't encounter anything right up until you get to this last point. So, and we got plenty of food. All we gotta do is just run through here and let's go get our boots. No big deal. Bada boom, bada bang. Look at that, easy mode. We made it through. We took a little bit of damage. It did use almost all of our food. It took quite a bit of food, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of surprising because I feel like most of the time these things just hit zeros. I guess I just had a little bit of bad luck on my side and we took a lot of damage doing it. So This isn't even a question. This is an easy choice. There's only one real choice. It's the first option. It's the rainbow boots. You can't pick either of the other ones. The fighting boots don't even look cool. The rainbow boots with the spike on the end, that's blasphemy. There's only one real option here, guys. To wrap up the day, I decided to sneak in one more quest, and that is Vampire Slayer. A great quest for some really, really great attack XP to continue boosting our melee combat stats for our Brutus farm later on. Hopefully, now in the past, I've done this quest, and that thing, Count Drainer himself has bodied me. I'm really, really hoping it's a breeze for this one. We had to make a quick pit stop in Drainer so that we can start loading up our Chronicle. Now that we've got some GP, we got a little bit more freedom. We can load up the Chronicle and actually have some free teleports between Lumbridge and Varrock and make life a little bit easier. So really, really happy we did get that GP earlier because now we have some Chronicle teleports. Got what I needed from Varrock, but I don't have any more food left because I used it all to kill Brutus. So I got to kind of kill Kaz a little bit, get some more food so we can prep to go kill Count Drainer. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is already not going good. We're running out of food. He still has half of his HP, and I am not doing any damage. Everything that I am dealing, he is healing right back. We might have to attempt this a second time. I don't think we're killing it here. Yeah, we bailed on that fight. It wasn't working out. I'm buying some runes really quick here so I can try to train up my magic level a little bit. While Wind Strike is going to be the freest in the sense to use, I do know that if I get level 9 magic, it'll actually make Wind Strike hit its maximum amount of damage that it can hit. So even though we're not using a higher level spell, at level 9, Wind Strike will be able to do more damage than it would at a lower level. So we're just going to quickly train up our magic level really fast. I actually forgot that the quest that we did, the Ides of Milk, actually gave us this amulet that allows us to teleport to the Lumbridge cow field. So I'm just going to train my magic on the cows here. They're, you know, really easy to kill. They, you know, don't do any damage, and it'll just make it nice and easy, and then we could run up the Drainer to complete the quest. Round 2, baby. This should be a breeze with magic. Honestly, I should have just did it with magic to begin with. This should be a lot easier. We're already doing a lot better. We're already hitting more frequently, so this will be a breeze, and then we get some nice attack XP. Look at him! Look at him! It's a breeze. Piece of cake. First try. Only took one attempt. Easy. Not bad for the first day under wraps. We got quite a bit of levels. We were able to get quite a bit of quests done. And now I'm just kind of making use of my notepad here on RuneLite to be able to list more quest priorities that I want to get done, things that I don't want to forget, stuff that I just have like planned for the short term, so that we can, you know, kind of continue setting the foundation for the account. We need to get fairy rings unlocked. We need to start doing farm runs so that we can have a good source of farming level to be able to start getting our herb level up, things that are going to help us out in PVM later on down the line. So that is it for this first day. I'm super duper excited about starting this Hardcore Ironman finally. It's something I've wanted to do for a long while, and so I'm glad that we've already started it. And this also gives me the opportunity to spend a good amount of time on my GIM, leveling up the AFK skills that I wouldn't otherwise train because I'm always actively playing it. Again, I do stream on Twitch and Kick at CrossFireX. And occasionally you guys will catch me on YouTube as well, right here on this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.